Miata versus MR2, or more specifically, the NA Miata. And if this is your first introduction to Miatas, when I say NA Miata, I'm not referring to naturally aspirated, I'm referring to the model year, or rather the chassis designation. Gen 1 Miatas are called NAs. If that has pop-up headlights, it's an NA. Versus the AW11. When I say AW11, what do I mean? I mean a first generation MR2, because car people have to be cool and call things by what they aren't and refer to all cars by chassis designations. This chassis is designated AW11. The Miata is remarkable in that it's a modern design created with classic intentions. And I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't tell you that this Miata we're giving away. Go to fanathem.com/regularcars, buy some limited edition merch, and you are automatically entered to win this very car. The Miata almost was this. During the competition to find out what was going to be the new Mazda Roadster, a design was put out that looked freakishly like an MR2. Because, remember, this thing, even though it came out in '89, the last year of the '80s, it was designed mid-'80s. So they were just going with what contemporary style was. The reason Mazda wanted to go with a mid-engine rear-wheel design like the AW11 was because they thought that was what the future was going to be. But does that mean this is better? Well, even though this is an '88 and this is a '95, is it? No, this is a 1997. The final year of the NA, the final year of pop-up headlights. Is something from '88 still have the potential to be better than something from '97? Let's look at this from a technical standpoint. We'll come around to the back. If you look at the engine, which isn't here, wait, it's a rear engine car. No, it's a mid-engine car. Yeah, there's nothing back here. It actually has a trunk in the back and a trunk in the front. The engine of an AW11 is here. The rear axles or half shafts are here, but the block is here. The engine is in the optimal place for racing, right in the middle of the car. And the Miata isn't like that. It is a true front engine car. Or is it? Ah, the little 4-cylinder. Well, here's my axle line, right about here, between the number 1 and number 2 cylinders. Unless you put them up from the back. Anyway, your front axle is here. Yes, a portion of the engine is in front of the front axles, but most of it is behind. And don't forget that the transmission is here. Actually, no, it's further back. It's here. The shifter itself, and why Miata shifters feel so good, is because they go right into the transmission. There's no linkages, it's just there. Now, people on forums will say, no, this is the superior track car because all the weight here is on the drive wheels. It's on the back. Versus the Miata, well, the rear end likes to kick out. It's easier to slide. People can drift these things. AW11s don't want to drift. They don't even want to do burnouts. This thing's got sticky tires on it. And if you try to do a burnout in an AW11, all you're going to do is cook your clutch. You want to do a burnout in this? You can just do it all day long. But is this still better? The short answer is yes. If you have absolutely no fear on a track, yes, an AW11 from the '80s still has the potential to be faster than a Miata from the '90s. But only if you drive this thing at the ragged edge of sanity. You know, full cyber psychosis with this thing. A Miata, any unskilled person like me could get into this and absolutely trounce that AW11 because this thing doesn't fight back. It is one of the easiest cars to drive fast in the world because it has that awesome gooning 50-50 weight distribution. This thing will bite you back. Does this thing have snap oversteer? Yes. Is it as bad as the second generation version? Well, not really. Another thing going on, if you are racing an AW11 versus a Miata or NA Miata, momentum is going to be your advantage with the AW11 because this is a heavier car. And that's something that the AW11 guys don't want to talk about. This thing is larger, wider, wider, bigger track, but its brakes are no better and its engine is no better. So in corners with an AW11, what you have to do is not brake. What you have to do is not lift. What you have to do in corners is keep your foot on it. Keep the weight pushed rear to keep the weight on your drive wheels. You do that in this, oh man, these things always want to kick out in corners. You goose it in a corner in this, yeah, it'll happily kick its tail out. This doesn't want to. It wants to surge forward. But there's also a problem that people in the comments are probably screaming right now, and that's the advancements on engines. Take a look at the AW11's engine. Oh, cool, Toyota twin cam, 1.6 liter. Great. Well, the early NA Miatas were 1.6. That thing behind us, well, that's a 1.8. Yep, it's got more displacement. And also, it doesn't have one of these. That's a distributor. That is old technology. Yes, the Honda guys like it with the Civics from the mid-'80s, and yes, there's nothing really wrong with distributors. But when it comes to engine management, look at these. Is that a distributor? Nope. Those are coil packs. Yep, better spark control, better tuning control, better everything. And also, I know this is small, but we're getting to the nitty-gritty. There's no mechanical drag on the engine by having a distributor spinning around in there. Although this is a side note, notice it doesn't say 1.8 on this engine. They were so traditional about their valve covers. But there's something else for race designation. You see, this Miata, and this thing is ready for some track use. Of course, it's got flying Miata suspension, bigger wheels, bigger tires, and also the nice aluminum Fire hot radiator right there. But there's something interesting. Yes, of course, when you take a Miata and you want to do track use, this is what you do. You need an upgraded radiator. The AW11s never need upgraded radiators, ever. You can take a stock AW11 like this and take it to a track and race all day, you have no problems with overheating. Why? It's a mid-engine. Your radiator is, it's so funny pulling the hood latch and having to remember not to say it's not a hood, it's the front trunk. Radiator is here. Of course, if I take off this panel, you'd be able to see it better. But I'm touching my radiator right now. It is cold. I can do this all day long. That's because there's no engine right next to your radiator pushing residual heat that the radiator then has to radiate away. This thing just gets to sit up here by itself. And also now there are coolant lines running from the very front of the car to the very back of the car, and they all hold coolant. So as the engine sends its hot coolant forward, it is pre-cooled by just taking the scenic route, and also there's air moving underneath the car. So the radiator doesn't really have to do much work. And also, AW11s take 4 gallons of coolant. You have to buy 4 of those jugs. Versus your average car, you may need like 2. Because you have to fill all this. And then you have to, burping this thing, Drain, our cameraman, knows all about burping radiators and how much pain in the ass it is. You have
done it 3 times on the Supra already.
Yeah. This, I'm going to have to bleed this radiator because I think the previous owner, when he did the water pump, or wherever he got sent, wherever he got it sent to be done, They may have forgot to put a thermostat in there because my coolant temp only cracks this much. I can idle this all day. It never gets past, it's always on its high idle circuit. I'm guessing, if I had to guess, we'll find out. I have to guess there's no thermostat in there. So it's always sending coolant up. And because the guy lived in Southern California, so maybe that was, well, what do I need a thermostat for? It's hot all the time. Anyway, or it's a goof, it happens all the time. People change thermostats, people do water pumps. Forgetting the thermostat is a thing, everybody does, I'm not making fun of it. I'm dumb, I have done that as well. I literally have done that before when I was working on a Falcon, my original project car. I did put the thermostat housing back in without the thermostat. I'm like, ugh, take it off, there goes another gasket. Anyway, so the cooling systems on AW11s are so freakishly efficient. You can run them all day in hot temperatures, and unless you have a problem, like a stuck thermostat, or if you didn't burp it properly, if there's a lot of air in the lines, then yes, the engine could get hot. But these things, no, they don't get hot at all. And it's sort of counterintuitive to think that the engine back here is getting no air to it. And there is a safety fan. There's the asymmetrical design. There is an air intake here on the passenger side. This cool, like, oh, is that the air intake for it? No, actually, this is the don't overheat fan. There's an electric fan way down there. That is the, hey, we're getting hot in here. Let's create some positive pressure inside the engine to push air in and then push it then out of the engine vents. There goes my voting sticker again. Congratulations, AW11, you voted. Inside the car, AW11s were sold sort of at a premium. This particular one, the sticker price was over $15,000 in 1989, which is around $40,000 today. And they wanted to give you stuff for your money, so your seat has adjustable wing bolsters. The sides of the seats move in and out. It has lumbar support. Your steering wheel does move up and down. This particular model had the option leather wrapped steering wheel and leather wrapped handle. And Drain, when he drove this last time, this thing was leather wrapped, but the leather was getting all gooey and old. And then I looked at the forums and saw, wait a minute, because I thought, oh, it's the leather, you're not gonna get this reupholstered. I'll just spin this off and deal with that another time and put a different one on. And then people said, no, you can just cut the leather off your shift knob. And all Toyota did was wrap a base model one in leather. So you just pull it off and there's a fresh shift knob complete with a shift pattern up there. So now I got two shift patterns. I have one there and one there.
You should talk about how it's angled towards the driver.
Oh yeah. Your shifter is angled toward you. So first, second, third, fourth, and then only when, and even fifth, it's still almost in like a Corvette way, or I actually did Mopar. Yeah, man, I'm in like 60s Mopar. It's still shifted toward the driver a little bit, which is interesting because this is a USDM one. The center console is not mirrored. This is still set up for a right-hand drive car. How do you know that? Because it's Japan, and I apologize for the stereotypes, but even today, people in Japan just love ripping darts all the time. So your cigarette lighter is for that person. When you're driving, this hand, your left hand, is perfectly positioned to rest your cigarette right here. But for the driver, like if you try to open this, it hits your leg. Versus over in the Miata, Mazda sold this car at a much lower price point, adjusted for inflation. Does a steering wheel adjust in an NA Miata? Nope, it is fixed in place. Is there bolstering in the seat? Nope. Does the seat move forward and back? Well, indeed it does. Can you recline it? Nope, because you hit the brace bar in the back. I love everything about NA Miatas, but the thing I think I love the most is the shifter. It is so much better than an AW11. It just, every single one is clicky and authoritative. And I hate using the bolt action rifle metaphor because everybody used it, including Richard Hammond. But it's like that. It's slick. It's perfect every single time. The shifter in an AW11 is vague because your shifter is here, but your transmission is way back there. So you have to have all these linkages running to the back. And I don't even, is it even linkages in that? Or is they doing the Toyota thing where they use the steel braided cable, which is even worse? I mean, not that it's bad, but you can't shift an AW11 as fast as you can shift an NA. Like this, the rev matching, everything is perfect. I do find that, and this is an M-Edition one. That's why this is wood, and your emergency brake handle is also wood. You notice I spun this thing around backwards because the previous owner probably had a ring on his right hand. And you see right here of what would have been the rear of the wooden shifter, a wear mark where it wore through the varnish, or rather maybe the clear coat or the lacquer, and the bare wood is there. So it was just a little enough that it bugged me when I touched the difference, like, unacceptable. So I spun it around. Yeah, it is tighter in here, but Mazda wanted this thing to be just a roadster, just something to please you. Whereas Toyota wanted the AW11 to be a little bit more aspirational. I think it was priced higher than the Celica. So that thing would have been, the AW11 I think was priced in between the Celica and the new, what Drain has, the A70 Supra. So the MR2 would have fit in there. The only one thing that's weird is that while the AW11 has more cargo space than an MR2, because it has two trunks, the one in the front and the one in the back, you could put more stuff in this car, but you can't put it all at once. Versus an MR2 has all of its trunk space here, and we had to put my camera case in this car, not the AW11. It would have, if I took it in this car, it would have to ride on the have to ride on the passenger seat. I still am torn, which is better in everyday traffic. Like, the AW11 is a small car, but it looks definitely bigger compared to an NA Miata. And of course, this comparison is a little bit unfair because this NA Miata has suspension, much bigger wheels, and an exhaust. And you can just get on the power so much quicker in it. I think in real world scenarios on real streets, an NA Miata still can outperform an AW11. On a track, the AW11 has the coolant. It won't overheat. It can be run for harder, longer, and in corners, if a driver is skilled enough, the AW11 won't have to slow down for corners, whereas the NA Miata will. But if I had to have some sort of like weird chase scene or something, or if I had to flee from something, or if this was an action movie, and I legitimately was the hero, either chasing someone or fleeing from someone, yeah, I would take the Miata every single time. Because I know with my limited skill as a driver, I could drive faster, harder, and better with the Miata because it's just so much more communicative toward the driver, whereas the AW11 is a more advanced car. So, find out for yourself. Go to fanathem.com/regularcars. Buy some limited edition merch, and this is a great way to help out Regular Car Reviews. Without these giveaways, we wouldn't be able to go out there and reach you. Thanks to you, we're taking a trip to the Wisconsin Dells. I will definitely film in some fun stuff. I think we got an airplane to play with. I can't be certain. But we're gonna make some great content. Our camera person, Drain, is gonna be there. So thanks to you guys for all the support. Please enter this giveaway. You saw me pause. I wanna keep driving this thing all the time. I'm gonna miss it when it's gone, but whoever's gonna get this is gonna love it. Please enter the giveaway. fanathem.com/regular cars. Someone's going to win this as soon as I find out who wins it, because the rules of giveaways, I can't know. I don't select the winner. It's done by an independent company. But I'll let you know as soon as they get it. Such a fun car. It has its limitations, being small. But when you talk about something that just is the perfect balance of fun and utility, yeah, Miatas are fantastic. Okay, thanks guys.